Welcome to my own FB. Today we're going to take a look at one of our new features, LIRA Unlocking. So we have a client here who've already entered all the data named LIRA, and she has a defined contribution pension plan and 4 other LIRAs and an RSP. So let's just take a look at how we set up LIRA Unlocking. So LIRAs and DCPPs are pretty much the same, other than contribution pension plan you're putting money into, and LIRA you're waiting, and then eventually they all become lifts where you're taking money out. So for LIRA Unlocking, we have a set of features here. We can tell you which account it needs to go to. So you have a list of your various RSP accounts. They can be RSPs or RIF, it doesn't really matter. You can unlock it to either one. We have a percentage, which is the first feature for unlocking. So this is on the conversion date, which is, if we entered it in this case 65, we're going to unlock 100% of it. Now, this is going to be limited by the jurisdiction and your age as to how much you can actually unlock. In this case, it's in Ontario. You'll only be able to unlock 50%. We put in 100% here since we don't really know what the actual legal number is. So we just put in 100%. That's what we're trying to do. The second feature for unlocking is small. So if you have a small LIRA, LIF plan that you're now converting, so at the time of conversion, if it's small, which is usually defined as a percentage of the YMPE, which is Canada Pension Plan terminology, trying to figure out approximately how much you contributed to your pension plan for that year. So typically a lot of provinces allow a certain percentage of that, and that's small. So if it's below that, you can unlock the whole thing. You can combine the percentage unlocking with the small unlocking. So typically right now, if you could only unlock 50% as a small, for example, say below $40,000 right now. So if it was below $40,000, it would be small. Other than if it was not that, you wouldn't be able to unlock all of it. So if we had a $80,000 LIF that we're about, or LIRA or DCPP that we're about to convert to a LIF, and it's $80,000, we can unlock 50% of that. That'll go to our RSP. Now that leaves us with $40,000, which is now considered small, and now you can unlock that $40,000. So if it was $80,000 and we had 50% unlocking with small, we could unlock all of it. If it was $81,000, you would only be able to unlock $40,000 and $500. So it all depends on if it's now going to be considered small after that, after the first unlocking. So that's those are the first 2 features for unlocking at conversion time. If you don't specify a conversion date, it'll be at 71, of course. The other feature is what we call maximum unused. This allows you every year after you've converted, you can unlock the difference between the maximum and the minimum and send that to your RIF. So in some cases, we wouldn't be the maximum minus the minimum because we're using the minimum for sure. We're going to put that into your gross automatically. We might also use a little bit more than that to cover your expenses or whatever based on what rules you have. So we may use a little bit more. We can only ever use up to your maximum. So if we use up to your maximum, this won't do anything. If we used your minimum or a little bit more than your minimum, this would convert all of that, unlock the rest of that into your RSP for that year. So for example, if your minimum was $4,000, your maximum was $8,000, we would be able to unlock somewhere between $0 to $4,000 into your RSP for that year, depending if we use some other that money for and put that into your gross. So each of these accounts has a value and a rate of return. We've named them all based on the features that we've added. So we're trying to unlock 100%, small, and maximum unused. So if we take a look at them all, we don't have to look at each of them. Now, the other LIRAs, we're trying to unlock 100%, and we've put small, and we use an unused portion, and that's the value. This one, we're trying to unlock 50%, and maximum unused. This 50% was small, 50% was, or LIRA. This one we're just going to lock small with no percentage just to see if it's small. And we have an RSP. So those are a number of LIRAs. We're just trying to show all the different options. Let's take a quick look at the DCPP plan and how we're contributing to that. So we're employed with our job, and we're working until we're 65 in the month of May. And we're going to do a match. So this is going to go to our defined contribution pension plan account. We're going to contribute 4% of our salary. The company is going to match 100% of that. So effectively 8% of our salary is going to go into our DCPP plan. So that'll continue up until you retire from this position. So, okay. So that's how we contribute to our DCPP. We're going to run that scenario. And we're going to take a look at, we're going to go to the retirement. We're going to expand all the different columns here in the retirement area. And let's take a look at our small LIRA. Small LIRA started off at $20,000, ends up at $24,800. When we want to convert it, we unlock $24,800. If you look in our RSP that year, we've contributed $13,900. We've unlocked from our LIRA $24,800. So we added all those are now going into our RSP for that year. 50% small. So this was at almost $68,000. We took 50% of that. It's now considered small after that because there's only about $38,000 left. So when we look at this, we've unlocked $68,000 out of there. Again, our RSP gets that, plus we've also unlocked this $37,100 here. So the RSP is going to get the combination of those. Well, so let's just go to this one. We checked small and maximum unused. So it wasn't small, so we took out 50%. We tried to take 100. We're only going to take 50 because that's what's allowed. And we moved that into our RSP. This one we were using 50% and maximum unused, so we took out the 50% as well out of the 157. We now end up at 79 approximately. That went into our RSP as well. So we unlocked all of that. Okay. So this unlocked is obviously going to be this number plus this number over here. Okay, so we unlocked $91,000 on that one. So this defined contribution pension plan, we had continued contributing, based on our job, our 4% plus the company is 4%. So we contributed. When we converted, we still contributed in that year because we were working until May, and we converted at that same year. So we contributed $5,100. We're unlocked $91,000 out of there at the conversion time. So that went into our RSP contribution for that year as well. Okay. And then after that, we start doing we withdrew $7,500. $4,000, that was the minimum. $3,400 was additional rules that we had to get additional money out of there to use that. That'll be entirely our maximum for that year anyway. So we didn't unlock anything, even though we have maximum used in the unlocking. Let's see if the other ones did any unlocking. This one did not. It did the maximum there as well. And this one did the maximum. There is a couple years here early on, I think, where we unlocked. The minimum was $1,400, and this time we unlocked $1,400. We didn't need it because in this case we were actually still working during this time, so we didn't actually need that additional money. I don't know if this one, we also then unlocked $1,300 in that one. And then once we stopped working, we decided we needed to use all of it for our rules to cover our expenses. So that is how LIRA Unlocking works. And the reason why we're using some of the LIRA, we have our rules which say withdraw up to 100% of the maximum from our LIRA accounts. With LIRA, and DCPP accounts, those all become LIF accounts eventually. So it's up to 100%. If we change that slightly, we could say withdraw 90%, and we're going to include the minimum. And then every year we will take some into 90% of it into gross if we needed all of that much, and then we will use the rest of it and we'll unlock the rest into our RSP. So if we take a quick look at that. So this one here, for example, we had the minimum $3,300. We withdrew additional $2,200, and then we unlocked $600 to our RSP. So, and this one we unlocked $300 to our RSP, and this one we unlocked. This one's a DCPP, so that one we didn't change the 90%, so that one we didn't do. And then if you look here, that at 600 plus the 300 is we took from the LIRAs that we unlocked, and we've put that into the RSP. So we had the RSP minimum withdrawal of 24,000, and we withdrew an additional 29,000, and then we also input. We put money in from our LIRA Unlocking of $900. And so that pretty much is how LIRA Unlocking works. On a conversion, you can take typically 50%. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's zero. If in certain provinces like BC, you can't take anything. Other provinces, you can take 100% out as well. So it depends on your age and the jurisdiction. You can always do small unlocking. That also depends on your age and your jurisdiction. And in every province, you can do the maximum minus the minimum on a yearly basis and unlock that into your RSP as well. So if you're not using it for any other purposes, it'll go into your RSP. And that's how we do LIRA Unlocking. And thanks for watching.